What's up guys, Matt back again with another video, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I want to share with you guys my predictions and also my wish list really for Dragon Ball figures in 2022. I know my office is a mess behind me. We've made some changes in here. All those posters, those displays that I had behind me, a lot of them started to fall. Which was a big hazard because they're metallic posters, so I didn't want to get hurt. I didn't want my daughter or my girlfriend to get hurt, so it's a little bit of a mess in here, but we're going to be moving soon, so, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit different this time and just share with you guys a lot of my predictions for this year. Some of it is pretty optimistic and kind of out there, but I wanted to have fun with it and just talk about what I hope for this year. And there's a little bit of precedence behind it, so it doesn't, you know, it's not going to be like outlandish. But it is kind of just like, if I were to plan out a year of Dragon Ball figures, I think this would probably make the most sense. So I'll do my best to walk you guys through this. Also, I won't be going through every single type of figure. Like, I'm not going to talk about the Super Zenkai Solid. I'm not going to talk about Glitter and Glamours. I'm going to just mostly talk about what I can really see in the figure world, and mostly my favorites. So without further ado, before we jump into this thing, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I upload videos every week. Like the video if you enjoy it, and comment down below your predictions for 2022. So let's get started. All right, first off, we're obviously going to start out with my favorite type of figures. They're Ichiban Kuji figures, the Masterlise figures. So the first list that I have here, I have a list right here. So if I look away, sorry, I'm looking at my list. But the first thing that we're going to be doing is talking about Dragon Ball EX. So the Dragon Ball EX series has given us stuff like Strong Chains. It's given us most recently the World Tournament Super Battle with the Saiyan Saga characters. And it looks like the next one is the Dragon Ball one, the Makafushigi adventure with Kid Goku and King Piccolo. So it looks like they are kind of focusing on different sagas within the entire Dragon Ball franchise. So I wanted to have a little bit of fun with that and predict two different Kujis this year that will be Dragon Ball EX themed. The first one, I'm calling it Dragon Ball EX War on Namek. So I predict this will have 6 figures, technically 6 prize figures within the set, with prize A being Goku in his base form, specifically when he comes out of the spaceship. When he first lands on Namek, there's a pretty iconic pose when Goku is stepping out of the spaceship on Namek, and he's standing there. You can see his sensu bean around his waist. When we got that Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Goku this last year, and he had that like bean bag on his waist, it made me really appreciate that Goku kind of like used to carry that on his waist to hand out sensu beans in the event that they would need it. So I think that would be cool on a traditional base form Goku. So I'm really hoping that we can get something along those lines this year. Prize B in the set would be Vegeta from that saga, but specifically I'd like to see Vegeta with his second piece of armor that you see on Namek, the one that doesn't have the shoulder pads, but it was before he had like those yellow laces or straps around him. It was just kind of like a white piece of armor that was on his torso. So I would really love to see that. It could be, you know, him standing there, you know, pointing at someone, or just one of the poses that I'll throw up on the screen that I think would look really good for a Vegeta figure. It'd be super unique. We don't have a Vegeta figure that looks like that, not to my knowledge. And I think it's an overlooked look for Vegeta. So that is my prize B. Prize C is Gohan, Kid Gohan, in the Saiyan armor. So we are getting GX Materia Krillin this year in the Saiyan armor. So why not we take that a step further and put Gohan in the Saiyan armor, but as a Masterlise? I wouldn't even be mad if they reuse the same, you know, Gohan that they've been reusing for Masterlise, because I feel like the Saiyan armor would be so unique and just kind of like a pushing or tipping point for that. that, you know, people wouldn't really care. They would be like, wow, it's a Gohan with Saiyan armor, something that we've been wanting for so long. So I think that would be an awesome Prize C figure. I also really predict that we'll see more Gohan figures this year just because of the movie that's coming out on April. And the movie seems to have more of a focus on Gohan and Piccolo. So you might see that within my predictions on this list. You might see a little more Gohan than initially thought. All right, my Prize D is Frieza. Of course, you can't have a Namek Kuji without the main villain from Planet Namek, and that's Frieza. Specifically, I would put him in his final form, but if they want to take it a step further, they can finally give us a Masterlise 100% full power Frieza. I would absolutely love that. I don't have, you know, a hulked out Frieza figure yet, and I think that would be pretty unique, especially for Masterlise figures. We haven't gotten something like that in a long time, and the ones that we've gotten in the past were either not really what I look for in my collection today, or just butt ugly. Okay, and the next one is Prize E, and I'm going to kind of cheat. I feel like this one could be a double figure prize, kind of like what we're seeing with the Mai and Shu prize. There are a couple sets that will include 2 figures within one set, and I would love to see Zarbon and Dodoria as a pair in a Kuji prize. Zarbon and Dodoria are Frieza's right-hand men. They're always by his side until they die, and he calls upon the Ginyu Force. But they're an iconic part of Frieza's character. They show up with Frieza when the arc begins. Zarbon and Dodoria both have pretty similar yet interesting fights with Vegeta, and I would love to see them both as a figure. Zarbon specifically in his regular form, not his ugly monster form. I think that that's his more iconic and notable look. And then finally, I think the last one prize is going to reuse the sculpture of Prize A, the base form Goku, but it's going to be Super Saiyan Goku when he first transforms in front of Gohan and Frieza. So the sculpt, I think, will be exactly the same. The only thing that's going to change is his hair, of course, and which will probably be the entire head sculpt. And instead of his regular gi, he'll have just the torn blue gi, and the rest of his clothes will be torn up, but the sculpt itself will probably be the same. But yeah, that is my prediction for one Dragon Ball EX Kuji. Would love to see a Namek themed Kuji. If they announce one, we'll see how close I am. And if they want to change it up and go even crazier with it, I would love that too. But I feel like mine is fairly safe if they did one. So yeah. All right, next is the other Dragon Ball EX Kuji. Now this one's probably even crazier, and if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you can probably guess what I would want this to be. It's called Dragon Ball EX Ultra Fusion Battle, and this one is based on fused characters from the Majin Buu arc. So starting this off, I think Prize A should be Super Vegito. I would love to see Super Vegito in something of a different pose. I feel like a lot of Vegito figures are posed kind of strangely nowadays, almost awkwardly. So I would love something based off of this art that I've seen of him and Gogeta. I'm not sure if it's official or not. I think it is, but he just looks so tough in it. And the way that his hair is modeled would be awesome for a Vegito figure. I think that's something that I see that they can't really get right sometimes with a Vegito figure is his face and the way that they mold his hair. So I would love to see those pieces included within an Ichiban Kuji for Super Vegito. Next is one that I have been begging for a while. He's not one of my favorite characters, but hey, we need Gotenks, specifically Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and there's so many Masterlise Gotenks that they could create. They could do when he initially transforms in the hyperbolic time chamber. They could do one based off of him throwing up his peace sign, which, I mean, that's even his fighter's render for Dragon Ball Fighters, and or his windscreen look, which is based on the manga and anime too, when he has his arms crossed and he's still kind of shooting the peace sign within his arms being crossed. So seeing Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks would really make me happy as a Masterlise. I have, you know, a couple Gotenks figures behind me. You can probably see them from here that do the job for his base and Super Saiyan forms, but I need a really good Super Saiyan 3 Gotenk. So that would be a great prize B for me. Prize C is one to continue the trend with Gohan. Some people might think, oh, here's where you would put Ultimate Gohan. But no, I would not put Ultimate Gohan here. I would put Super Saiyan 2 Gohan in his Great Saiyaman outfit when he's showing the form to Kibito in the World Tournament. This is an iconic look for Gohan. I think the look is amazing. Him without the goofy helmet or the turban and the sunglasses, with just that look, he looks so awesome. Just the green and the black with the gloves, it's almost like a pseudo Saiyan armor look, but not quite. And he just looks so great in it, especially when he goes as a Super Saiyan. And you know, we don't really have a lot of figures of Gohan from the Buu Saga. There's plenty of Teen Gohan figures out there. And if we're gonna, you know, give some love to Gohan as an adult slash, you know, he's like 16 or so during the Buu arc, then why not, you know, go back and take some of his popular looks from the Buu arc. So this would be a great prize C and a great way to represent Gohan in a Kuji. All right, prize D. Prize D, I think, should be Super Buu with Gotenks Absorbed. Buu with Gotenks Absorbed is an iconic part of the show. It's one of his most powerful forms. I think he looks so sick with Gotenks in there. And there's plenty of poses and panels from the manga that they could take inspiration from. And of course, it would be super unique. We only have one Majin Buu Masterlise figure, and it's Kid Buu, which I just reviewed on the channel. But having any form of Super Buu would make my day, especially Gotenks Absorbed. All right, prize E, I'm going to continue the pairing of figures, and I think a great prize E and an easy pair that you could do would be Deborah and Babidi. And you could literally take the moment when they first appear and they're walking out of the spaceship. Babidi obviously can be a smaller figure, so it'd be easy for you to throw in a smaller figure with a figure like Deborah. And Deborah, I don't think I've ever seen a figure of Deborah at all. Not even just like a regular, you know, figure. Maybe there's an S Cultures Deborah out there, but seeing a Masterlise of him would probably blow me away more than a Majin Buu figure. So having him and Babidi, who are basically the initial villains of the Buu Saga, would be pretty mind-blowing. And then finally, my last one prize that I would do for a Kuji like this would be to take that Gotenks Absorbed Majin Buu and just swap out his jacket for Gohan's shirt to make him Super Buu Gohan Absorbed, the mightiest Majin Buu. Make him the last one prize. He would be a super hot figure. Again, people probably wouldn't complain that you reused a sculpt from the same set just to give you like another form of Buu. It'd be an easy way for them to do that and introduce more unique figures, and I think it would make a lot of fans, especially me, super happy to see something like that. All right, so the next Ichiban Kuji that I am predicting would be an Omnibus set. I'm only predicting one Omnibus set for this list. I think we got two this year, two, maybe three in the last year. And I think we'll probably only get one since there's something else that I'm going to predict here on the list is probably more important for them, I guess. But the next Omnibus, and Omnibus has been a series where they're basically, it looks like they're taking two folks that are fighting in Dragon Ball from either Z, from Super, or from GT, those specifically. So I think the prize A of this set should be Super Saiyan God Goku, and the prize B of this set should be Beerus. I would love to see a Masterlise Super Saiyan God Goku, first and foremost. We do not have a Masterlise Super Saiyan God Goku yet. We have a couple of great Super Saiyan God Goku figures in Maximatic. I think it's Chokuku Raitsuden, I think is the name of the line. It's like DXF or something like that. And there's the Dokkan Battle one, of course. Sorry, I had to look and reference my shelves. But we don't have a Masterlise of him. And of course, Beerus. Beerus is a popular character now, and he's so prominent in Dragon Ball Super. It's surprising we don't see him more often in the figure world. So to get Goku and Beerus from their first fight from Battle of Gods as a pair in the next Omnibus would be awesome. I wouldn't even be, you know, super picky about how you pose them. You can have Beerus just standing there with his arms behind his back, and I would still be happy. All right, prize C and D, let's take a look at GT and give us a Masterlise of GT Kid Goku as a Super Saiyan and Baby Vegeta. So I know GT gets a lot of flack, but you know, there's still some iconic looks in it. I think Super Saiyans on Goku as a child, Super Saiyan 1 and 3, are pretty awesome to look at. And having that as a Masterlise would be pretty great, specifically if they took the image of him from that promotional material that's pretty popular around GT, where he's shooting out, you know, a ki blast. He has his hand forward. That would make an easy figure for them to mold. And for Baby Vegeta, I mean, Baby Vegeta just was a DLC character for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I think he was pretty popular. I mean, I was really excited to see Baby Vegeta. I think he's the only good villain in Dragon Ball GT, and that's really the only arc that I'd be willing to rewatch. And they could take any form, whether it's his initial form when he absorbs Vegeta and he just has the white hair, Super Baby 2, or I mean Super Baby or Super Baby 2. I think if they were to do it, they would probably do Super Baby 2, since that's the most iconic look that he has. And I definitely wouldn't be mad about that. So having those two would be pretty cool for GT fans. All right, the last pair in this omnibus I think should be Super Vegeta and Semi-Perfect Cell. So I know we just got a Perfect Cell, but why not keep that momentum going and give us a Semi-Perfect Cell? You can pose him however you like, Banpresto, but I would also love Super Vegeta to be alongside him, super hulked out when he first turns into the form. I'll put the panel up here. It's one of my favorite panels from the entire manga, just seeing Vegeta in this form for the first time. And I think his fight with Cell is very popular and super iconic. I think it's just another great way that they can represent parts outside of the series and characters other than Goku and Gogeta. So if you want to give us this super cool pair from the Android Saga, please, Banpresto, go ahead. All right, finally, the last one prize I think is when they would get a little lazy and maybe cheat a little bit. I think they would reuse the sculpt of the greatest Saiyan, Golden Uzaru, and just give us a regular brown-haired Saiyan Uzaru. So that's basically Kid Goku or Gohan when they transform into Uzaru. So nothing crazy here. These omnibus figures seem to include like a really big figure at the end, whether it's a Masterlise Extra or it's a King Cluster. So I think rounding things off with an Uzaru figure, which we haven't had since I think the very first or second omnibus set, would be, you know, pretty sick. So just an idea I'm throwing out there for Omnibus. Would love to hear what you guys think. Omnibus basically means it's like an encyclopedia. It's like looking back at the history of something. So that's why we get like a lot of different characters and times from these Omnibus sets. All right, we've got two more Kuji sets that I'm going to predict. This one is one that I was talking about earlier. I don't think they would do another Omnibus throughout the year, because I think they're going to do a Kuji of Dragon Ball Superhero. And I think it'd be pretty easy to predict what they would do for it. In fact, I think they've already given us a look at what they would do exactly. They would base it off of the pictures from the roadshow that they put up. So prize A would be Gohan in his base/ultimate form, posing to do the Masenko. Prize B would be Pan, determined and ready to fight. She'd probably be the smaller figure in the set. Prize C could be Piccolo. I think he's like firing off a ki blast or a special beam cannon. Prize D could be Goku doing his Kamehameha, Vegeta doing his Gallic Gun, and then finally the last one prize can be Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 doing their iconic poses from the poster, just to round things off. So it's a no-brainer. They're going to want to promote this movie. They're going to want to make a lot of merchandise off of it. So we're definitely going to start seeing more and more figures from Superhero for at least this year or a year or two after the movie comes out, depending on how popular it is. And finally, the last Kuji I'm going to predict. I can't really get specific with this because we haven't seen a lot of this. They're probably going to do another Kuji for Super Dragon Ball Heroes and the promotional anime. Since we don't know much about it at this point, by the recording of this video, it's the beginning of January of 2022. We don't know much. I think they're going to do that new Supreme Kai character, Ios, I think that's his name. He's the former Supreme Kai of Time. They'll probably take one of those hooded figures, whether they reveal themselves or they do just a hooded figure, hooded warrior figure, I mean. I don't think they would do that, but they would probably, once they reveal who it is, they'll probably do a figure based off of them. Of course, you'll get some form of Goku in there, and then you'll get some fusion, whether it's Gogeta or Vegito, somewhere in that set. So that's my final prediction for a Kuji. Little ending kind of like on a fart there rather than a cheer, but it is what it is. All right, so these next ones will be a little quicker, and I'm going to predict for Grandista this year, we're going to get a Manga Dimensions of the Ultimate Gohan that we just got. So recently reviewed Ultimate Gohan and his Grandista. Really loved the figure, made it in my top 10 for the year. You guys can check that video out on my channel. I made a whole list of my favorite figures of 2022 that I opened. But Gohan was definitely among them. It was a great figure, and usually these Grandista figures will get a Manga Dimensions version sooner or later. And since this year they're focusing more on Gohan and Piccolo, it makes sense to do a Manga Dimensions of a figure they already released. In addition to that, I think they'll reuse the sculpt and maybe change the colors a little bit and give us a Grandista Super Saiyan Gohan, maybe based on his look in Dragon Ball Super Hero. I mean, his gi is a little bit different, but it's fairly similar. If they want to go crazy with it, they can give us the cape and glasses. That would be awesome. But I wouldn't be shocked to see a Super Saiyan Grandista Gohan sometime this year. Speaking of redoing Manga Dimensions figures, I think it's about time we get Super Saiyan 3 Goku as a Manga Dimensions. That figure was extremely popular. And they've already done Manga Dimensions of Super Saiyan Goku. They've done Manga Dimensions of Base Goku. They've done Manga Dimensions of UI Goku. So I think the next one is, I mean, they could do a Manga Dimensions of UI Sign, but I think they'll probably do Super Saiyan 3 before they do that. So makes a lot of sense to me to get another Manga Dimensions of some Grandista Goku figure. Finally, my last Grandista prediction. Earlier this year, they announced that they're going to start doing some different things within Grandista and trying to be more unique. So if you're going to start focusing on Gohan and Piccolo this year, give us Grandista Piccolo. That would be an awesome figure. People would love it. Piccolo is a fan favorite. That's why he's still in the series. Like, even though he's a Namek, he's still strong and can compete with kind of the rest of the team. But you know, start making more merchandise of Piccolo. I want to see more of him. I'll pick up as many Piccolo figures as you put out. So having a Grandista of Piccolo would be pretty awesome, especially if you give him a removable cape and a swappable head, like they did with the Teen Gohan Grandista that they released a few years ago. All right, we are moving on to Maximatic. Maximatic is my second favorite line of figures right now. I was really cold on them when I first started. But over time, they really won me over and are delivering some pretty awesome figures nowadays. We have the second Maximatic Vegeta coming that I will be reviewing soon as he gets here, which is the Majin Vegeta. So I think for the third one, they'll do Super Saiyan God Vegeta. And I think they'll base it off of his look when he's kind of just floating there, maybe more so from the manga. It'd be great if they based it off of the manga when he first used it in the Goku Black arc, which isn't in the anime. He doesn't do it in the anime, but I feel like the Goku Black arc overall is better in the manga. So if you guys haven't read it, read the manga. It's great. I think it's even better than the anime most times. But yeah, I think we've had, they reuse like one of two leg sculpts for these Maximatics. At least that's what they did for Goku. So if they were to do that with Vegeta, instead of reusing the same one that they have for his legs split apart, they can build the second one with his legs a little closer together, and that would be what they would use as a base for Super Saiyan God Vegeta. All right, Vegeta 4. We're basically going to go through all the different Vegetas in the Maximatic line. So Vegeta 4 would be his base form from Namek, with the shoulder pads, but he doesn't have the pads around his waist, and his tail is gone. So maybe he still has a scouter, or with no scouter, whatever they want to do. But they could maybe do when he does his dirty fireworks attack. I think that would be a great Maximatic figure. They could change the legs and get away with him just having them split open like the last two. So I think that would be a great way to represent that form of Vegeta. All right, we're going to have Super Vegeta again on here, but this time it's going to be in that iconic pose when he's pointing at himself. There's like a meme in the community that whenever Vegeta does this, he's probably going to lose the fight he's about to get into. Vegeta's always jobbing, man, but I still love him. We all still love him. Hopefully one day he'll win a fight, but yeah, I think getting Super Vegeta as a figure like that would be pretty sick. And then the last Vegeta, I'm going to just kind of go way out there, man. I want Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta when he fought Kid Buu, and I want his Maximatic figure to also have his halo. So they can somewhat copy the Majin Vegeta figure and still get away with it and give us something a little unique by putting the halo on him because he was still dead while he was fighting Kid Buu. And whatever else they want to do, battle damage maybe, so that it's a little more unique compared to the Majin Vegeta figure. Okay, my last Maximatic prediction. If we're able to get through all of Vegeta this year, I think they'll go ahead and start the next Maximatic character, and I think they're going to start with Gohan. I think we'll get a Super Saiyan Gohan Maximatic figure, specifically the one in the movie. I think Gohan's going to get a lot more traction, especially after the movie comes out, and if he really is the focus and the highlight of the movie, people are going to be all over Gohan again, so that should be merchandised everywhere. All right, Super Master Stars piece. I'm only going to predict 2. I know it's hard to kind of put a pulse on Super Master Stars piece. They release a few a year sometimes only a couple. But of course we'll get some sort of Goku figure. I don't know what form he'll be in, but it's almost a given that we'll get some sort of Goku figure. But I think we'll also get a Super Master Stars piece of Gohan, maybe from the Cell Saga, or from the Buu Saga. I'm not really quite sure what they would do, but yeah, I think a Super Master Stars piece of Gohan would be awesome. Again, just pushing the character this year. All right, finally, we're going to talk about Clearise. Clearise is a series that I have both of the figures so far. I have Goku and I have Vegeta. Goku I was not a big fan of. I still have him, but the Vegeta figure came out a lot better than I thought he was going to be. They're smaller, I'll give them that, but Vegeta was pretty awesome, and I'm glad I have him. So I'm kind of excited for where this series is going to go. We have Gogeta and Vegito coming soon, I think this month actually, and they just announced that they're going to do Goku Black. So it looks like they are branching out beyond just Super Saiyan Blue. So I think a few that they could do this year are Super Saiyan Gohan, again, focusing on Gohan because of Dragon Ball Superhero. They could do Ultra Instinct Goku because it's inevitable. We always get some sort of Ultra Instinct Goku in some release or a few during the year. I think they could do Super Saiyan God Vegeta if they want to change it up. You know, base it off of the Broly movie or something and just keep banking on that. And then if they really want to get crazy, give us Golden Frieza. I think a translucent Golden Frieza figure would be pretty awesome. So yeah, that's my list of wishes and predictions for 2022. This video is probably going to be long as hell, so I'm really sorry in advance, but I wanted to just talk about this. This is something I wanted to do for a while, and I think it's just pretty cool discussing for us to just, you know, go over our hopes for the year. Will it live up to that? Probably not, but it's fun to just talk about it and, you know, hope for the best. So let's hope that you know, I can come back to this and at least be 50% correct on these predictions and figures. So appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.